Okay, making a belt for my 1x30 out of roll stock. Got a good deal on it, so this is about the 5th different version I'm trying. Let's see if we can get this done. It worked for me the other day, so we're going to do it again. What I did was took one of my old belts, cut the tape strip off of the belt so I know exactly the size. Theirs is it's a heat tape thermo. It's got glue on it that only activates with the heat and a press, so they don't sell it to you. So I've been trying to figure out, I called a bunch of places, nobody will let you do it. So here's what we're going to do. This worked for me. So take the piece off, cut it off, then you take a work shirt, uniform shirt, get them red cap, buy them at the swap meet, a couple of bucks each, cut off a chunk of the material. I'll put it on here so you can see a little better. There's the tape. This is a piece of the uniform. Lay your thing over it, trace it out, cut your piece off. Then you've got this is going to be your new tape. So you need that little patch. You need a place you can put wax paper. Another chunk of wax paper. You're only going to need a little piece of it. So you need a piece of wax paper, your cloth patch, a pencil, knife, clamp, and a piece of wood so you can press everything together, and of course crazy glue. I'm using crazy glue because I got this stuff laying all over the place, because every time I cut myself, you just put a little dab in it, squeeze it shut, hold it for a second, you're good to go. Here's your roll. This is 2 inch, so I marked halfway point. This tears. You don't have to cut with your razor knife. There you go. Now you got 2 1-inch pieces. What I've done is, before time, I took an old belt, cut it right on the splice, taped it to my desk. Get that out of the way. So you've got your 2 ends ready to go. So what you do, take your piece, cut it out long enough. I put mine a little extra long. Put it on your mark. You may not be able to see this very good. You got the end of your thing here. Use your pencil. Make sure you're on the corner. Mark your spot over here where the other end is. Get your scissors. You can use scissors or a knife. Go from this corner straight to that mark so you know you've got your thing. Same angle. Run this all the way out. Back over here. You're going to do the same on this end. I run it right on the edge of the table. That way you know it's running straight. Get your pencil again. Make your mark on the outside. Find your inside point right there. Make your other mark. Scissors. Cut from mark A, mark B. Bring it together. Make sure you're nice and tight. This is going to come into play later. So you got a nice tight joint there. Okay. Now the fun part. I kind of cheat. Move this out of the way. I bring my 1x30 back. I'm only going to use this. I'm not going to use the thing, so don't worry about that. Okay, now get some blue tape. I got 2 pieces holding down the wax paper. These are 2 holding the wax paper. You've got your belt here that you're going to be making. You need 2 more pieces. Put those down. Leave one end loose. This is going to hold your belt in place so you can tape it down. Okay, now straighten this out. I use this to hold it in place so it doesn't get in your way, because it tends to. Make sure these, run it right up against the edge, go out a little bit, so you're running right on the edge. Tape down this end. Now that one's secure. Start here, make sure your joint is nice and tight. Run it out so it's straight. Good. There you go. Tape that end down. Get your patch. Now this part is important because you don't want to get too crazy. You want to make sure you're halfway, which is right about there. Put your patch on. Get your pencil. Okay, take your pencil, make a line. Switch over to this side. Make another line. Okay, now you know what you have to glue. Put your patch close by. Get your glue. Start here, right on the edge, because that's going to be your most important, and then right here on the inside edge. And just work it into the belt. I haven't prepped the belt any way special. Glue this edge, along the edge, and then right down the butt. Okay, you now completely glued. Get rid of that. Get your patch. Here's where the fun starts. I use a putty knife, hold it in place, start on the outside edge, put it on. Now get your tape, your wax paper, make sure you roll it in place pretty good. Put your wood block, clamp it down. Okay, put a pretty good twist on there. Now you're nice and clamped. So basically you got your belt just sitting there now, clamped down. I leave it there for, this is crazy glue so it goes pretty quick, but just to make sure I leave it there for 10 minutes. It gets nice and tight. You can get other cyanoacetate or whatever they call it, crazy glue, and use that. Like I said, I just happen to have crazy glue here, so that's what I'm using. Once you have it on, like I said, I just let it sit for about 10 minutes. And then make sure you cover up your crazy glue because it'll dry out pretty quick. We all know how that works. And this is a belt I made yesterday. This one I went a little wild with the patch, but as you can see, it doesn't lift up. I put a little bit of glue down this joint just to hold it. No gaps. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's there. I've run some wood through it, but I don't have my vacuum going right now, and I don't want my whole desk covered in dust. But as you can see, cracked. I did notice that with this belt material, if you're using rolls, it will stretch out a little bit on you. But I mean, I used this one yesterday, and you can see I ground off some steel with it. I went pretty hard on it, and it I took down quite a bit. I don't know if you can see it, but I took down quite a bit off of this before it started to give out, or started to loose. I was going pretty heavy on this, a lot heavier than I normally do, and it was tearing it up, so it works pretty good. I mean, normally I'd let it go a little bit more, but I'm not going to do the whole. Take the clamp off. Okay. There you go. Take your scissors, clean it up a little bit. Now, I forgot to mention, when you do your patch, make sure you go a little bit longer. That way you can trim off the excess. And these belts aren't exactly 2 inches. Depending on the grit, some are bigger, some are smaller. Not noticeably smaller, but maybe a 1/4 of an inch smaller. Okay, now let's get rid of this belt. Here's the one we just made. That's pretty good. I'll go ahead and you're not going to hear me very well, but works pretty good. Again, steel. Works just fine. Like I said, this belt will give you a little bit of stretch over time. This belt that I was using yesterday, I used it for probably, I don't know, a couple hours on a few different things. And it just barely stretched, and I did make it a little tiny bit too long, but it was the first one, trial and error. So again, I think I paid let's see, the shirt with the swab meat for the patch material. I think it was $2 for like 3 of them. So, I mean, and you can see the size of the patch. Little, what, maybe 1 inch square, if that. You got a work shirt, you'll get a couple thousand patches out of that. So $2 for way more patches than I'll ever need for. I've got 3 or 4 rolls of the 2-inch, 160 feet long, Czech Republic. This is really, I mean, for the price, I paid $20 a roll for one of these. 160 feet long. You do the math, I get about 200 pieces out of each roll. So, swap meat, crazy glue. I get these for $1 a piece. You've seen how much I used. I probably made this second belt that I've used, and you can still see it's probably halfway, and I've had this for a while, so I mean, there's no comparison. $1. So you got $1 for the glue, $2 for a bunch of shirts, wax paper you can steal from your wife. Don't tell her I told you, because I don't want to hear about it. Do not steal your wife's. If she kills you, it's not my fault. Disclaimer, you know, cover my butt. Lumber pencil, Home Depot. I don't even know how much these things are anymore. I've got a ton of them, so even use a regular number 2 pencil. It's just for marking the ends. An old belt. Chances are you probably got one, because if you're watching this, then you're trying to figure out how to make your own, so you don't have to keep buying them. Tape it down. Make sure it's nice and tight so you get the length you need. Piece of wax paper underneath. Piece of wax paper on top after you set your patch. Little block. And a C-clamp. There you go. I found this at the swap meet for, I think, $5. Craftsman, 6-inch. Use it for my brake calipers, all that other stuff. So, what? 6, 7 for the glue, 8 for the patch, 9 for the... So, what? I spent $10 on supplies, $20 on a roll, $30. I bought that chunk of blue ones right there, 24 grit, for $50. So that's 24 belts for $50, or 120 belts for $50. So your choice, or $30. Your choice. I mean, it works. I mean, if you're not planning on, I have not tried this on a 2x72, so if you do, it's all on you. Once again, I'm doing this for my own personal use. I am not planning on selling these belts. I do not guarantee that they will not come apart and scare the crap out of you. So if you make them, you assume all liability. I do not. Once again, this is on you if you make them. I make them myself because, hey, $2 for a couple of these. You can just imagine how many patches I can get out of one of these. So, hey, I'm saving me money. If you want to use this idea, go ahead. It's all on you guys. Alright, have a good one.